Bermuda Tentacles. Now, your first impression with this film may be that it's going to be one of these typical kind of sci-fi movie TV movies or asylum pictures and stuff like that, and it's just going to be like just any other movie that you've kind of seen a million times on TV. And some of you may still think that after you watch this film, but I'm here to tell you this film is surprisingly good. Let me give you a brief synopsis. Basically, this starts off right out the gate with an exciting sequence where we see Air Force One kind of being damaged in some kind of freak accident over the kind of Bermuda Triangle, and the president is forced to kind of eject in this kind of a little pod. And then basically it's up to kind of the US military to try and rescue the president, and their admiral is played by Linda Hamilton, who is kind of like this admiral, this kind of fleet of Navy vessels, and she's in this sort of team of military specialists to try and retrieve the president. And she of course has a personal history, not a good one, with the kind of the lead sort of Chief Oliver, I think his name is. And basically, we find out that this particular area is also inhabited by some sort of strange creatures. Now, at first, they appear to be sort of giant tube worms, and they sort of rise out of the water, and they're massive, and there are loads of them, it seems. As it transpires, it turns out these are actually some kind of tentacles attached to a huge, ginormous spacecraft under the kind of the ocean. And it's basically, this thing is massive. It's like the size of a city. And it's basically the kind of the tale of the rescue mission of the president, and obviously the fight against this kind of alien menace. So that's all I really go at the plot. So let me tell you what's bad about this film first of all. Okay, let's be honest, this is not a massively high budget film, so there are a few limitations that you're going to see here. First of all, the special effects are a little bit of a mixed bag. Some effects are actually quite good, they're pretty much all CGI. But there are a lot of shots where it's obviously green screen, the CGI isn't quite up to snuff. But to be fair, are you expecting this on a TV budget? Probably not. So you're going to probably go into this, I would imagine, not expecting kind of like, you know, $200 million budget special effects. So let's kind of park that, shall we say. The other thing, there are some kind of dodgy acting here and there. Overall, I don't think the acting was that bad, I've got to be honest. But there are one or two sort of characters where the kind of, it's just a little bit kind of sort of stiff, and some of the dialogue as well was just a little bit sort of trite and sort of typical things that you know, macho stuff that you're going to sort of say in these sort of type of films. And there are some logic issues as well. For example, the tentacles that seem to come up seem to kind of change shape. They seem to react to bullets differently in different times. Sometimes they'll seem to have absolutely no reaction, and other times they'll seem to blow up just with the same kind of bullets. And sometimes they look like they somehow are able to see, which I don't understand how that's possible. They're able to literally kind of hunt down sort of people almost like they're looking at them. So there are a kind of few logic issues, and you know, stuff like the science stuff as well. I mean, this thing was never picked up on kind of sonar before it actually attacked and stuff like that. I guess one issue maybe I do have is that the aliens aren't really explained. I mean, this is going to be a mild spoiler, I suppose. They're kind of shown as really tentacles, and we're told when they're in the ship there's actually a city, but well, who's actually populating that? Are there sentient beings, or are the tentacles of the aliens, or like part of the ship? It's not really explained, so I would say that is a little bit of a problem for me. So that's my kind of gripes out of the way. But let me tell you, this film is exciting. This is an exciting movie. It actually reminds me a lot of Independence Day. It has a very sort of similar feel to that, but kind of a nautical version of it, basically. And it is a kind of gripping story. It kind of changes up. So the first kind of, I guess, third of this movie, you don't quite know what's going on. We don't really sort of see the whole sort of scope of the alien menace, so to speak, and kind of it looks like a typical sort of creature feature, so to speak. And then we have the kind of the rescue of the president, which is in itself exciting, kind of in its submersible, and then we have the kind of the final battle. So it's all kind of almost got a fair sort of varied action. So there's a lot of action here as well. But you know, the military versus these kind of, you know, tentacles in the initial part, and then the kind of the final fight at the end. So the acting was pretty good. It's great to see Linda Hamilton in the role as well. It's been a while since I've kind of seen her in anything. You know, so it's nice to see a kind of a familiar face, and she was one of the kind of the primo action heroines at one point in her career, obviously. So it's nice to kind of see her in an action movie role again, and she has got quite a nice sort of screen presence as well. And like I said, sometimes the effect shots are a little bit wonky, but other times they actually look pretty good. There's some pretty decent shots, you know, especially sort of the outside when you see the spaceship and stuff like that, where it does actually look quite good. There's quite a high body count on this. There is a few characters that are blatantly going to just sort of be expendable and things like that, and the kind of the main guy, your typical sort of good-looking, you know, hero type, but nevertheless, it is a fun movie, and I actually really enjoyed watching it. I was never bored in this film, which sometimes when I kind of watch these sort of low-budget films, they're sometimes so by the numbers that you can just kind of literally, you know, just call what's happening straight away. But this film I actually really enjoyed. It was kind of, dare I say, edge of your seat stuff even. You know, just the pace of it was fantastic. I thought it was, you know, exciting movie. It is let down, like I said, by a few sort of things, but like I said, if you can kind of look past some of the sort of the cheapness of it, maybe the kind of corny dialogue, sometimes the wonky special effects and things like that, and you can look past some of these sort of logic issues. I mean, there's small things as well, like, you know, when people kind of get impaled by these tentacles, they sometimes in the change shape, and the angle that they're going in at sometimes doesn't quite work if you look at it, you know, in physics terms and things like that. But nevertheless, you know, you can nitpick on these kind of films all day. But if you like kind of low budget sort of sci-fi films, creature features, you're going to like this. If you like sort of the Independence Day movies, again, this is a film I can recommend for it. Like I said, it is a cheap film to not be expecting Independence Day, but if you can kind of look past that, I'm going to give this movie a solid 7 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment. I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.